What up? What up? What's good? Welcome to Leadership Over Libations, the place where creators, visionaries, entrepreneurs, and those who aspire belong. I'm your host. You already know your main man, Mr. T. Brown. And man, we got something special for y'all today, man. You know, we gonna do a real sit back, chill, behind the scenes, and more importantly, man, you know, this is the recap of all the episodes because we are officially at episode 10, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm excited. I'm grateful. And we just going to elaborate, man, and just chill and chop it up. So I wanted to do this a little bit unorthodox, real relaxed environment. Of course, we in the studio, but definitely, man, I'm kind of speechless. You know what I'm saying? Like, to know that where this thing started, you know what I mean? It started from a thought becoming a thing. So I wanted y'all to be a part of it. You know, this is, again, not an episode interview, but it is an interview. You know what I'm saying? So it's an interview. I'm being interviewed. You know what I mean? So yeah, we definitely gonna get it started, man. I got a guest with me, man. You know, this brother, man, been rocking with me since day one. Seeing the vision, you know, everything that we talked about. Came in my lounge one day, man, and we've been going ever since. So, you know, this dude is a creative, an entrepreneur in the making, and the guy that's really, truly, you know, one of them dudes that, you know, I hold near and dear to my heart, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted him to do this interview for me, and, you know, and just pick my brain a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm usually the one picking everybody's brain, asking the questions, but I wanted to have him do it. And, you know how we do it, man. We always do, you know, the pie in the sky, we get it started. So I don't want to keep rambling, man. I want to bring up my boy, Mr. D. Winz. What it do, man?
What's up, baby?
Yeah, man. So, yeah, it's all good, you know.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm over here nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never been yeah, you see, you got to look. I ain't never been nervous, but you know, I'm more it's an excited nervous. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, being able to do this thing, man, and we launched in June, and here we are right now, still going. We 10 episodes in, man. So I definitely wanted to sit down and, you know, to thank the people, to really kind of like, you know, shed light on the journey. To, you know, to show people like the transparency, you know what I'm saying, the behind the scenes, letting them know, man, that, you know, a thought can become a thing if you just put the effort and the faith behind it.
Yeah, that's needed. That's needed.
Know, so yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure that, you know, you got questions for me. I already know you done compile some.
I got some. I got a few.
Okay.
We're gonna get into it.
Okay, for sure.
Let's do it.
So before we get started, man, you know, we always like to do the pie in the sky, man. We toasting to a positive, informative, and euphoric conversation. So, man, it's only right, man, for episode 10, celebrating 10,000 more.
Oh, yeah, the best.
You know, nothing but the best, man. If it ain't Lux White, it ain't right. So we repping the brand, as you can see, man. Shout out to, you know, Sovereign Brand. Shout out to Brett Bears, the GOAT. And we going to get right to it, man. So this is how we do this. You know what they be saying.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We about to get to it, man. So all y'all tuning in, you know, the viewers and the listeners, man, you know, we celebrate life every day, man. But this is an accomplishment. I definitely wanted y'all, look, no spills. I wanted y'all to, you know, kick it with us, man, and celebrate with us today. I'm gonna need a little more than that.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We celebrating. All right. So let's hit that here, man. So yeah, cheers, man. Cheers to 10 and 10 million more.
Let's go.
Appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate you for having this platform. Like I said, it's very needed. So let's dive right in. I got some questions. So first off, 10 episodes, right?
Yeah.
How does it feel? I know that's kind of like cliche to like ask, but how does it feel? Because like you just said, it started off from just a thought, an idea. Like, you know, you probably was 3 a.m. I know you 3 a.m, 4 a.m. Like your mind is racing. Like, man, I should, you know, they want to hear from me. We have great conversations as it is.
Yeah.
But to start this, Leadership Over Libations, this podcast, this platform, I should say, not even just the podcast, but just a platform that obviously people have come on to share their experiences and their journeys. How does it feel for you though? Like the 10th episode.
Man, I mean, for real, to be honest, like it still feels like surreal. You know what I'm saying? Like to know, I done watched podcasts, I done seen, many shows, different stuff on social media, stuff like that. And, they got good topics. They talk about any and everything, relationships and, the status quo, the 50-50, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Then you have some business, stuff too. A lot of people have platforms for whatever they're doing. But I always knew, man, I was set apart. I always knew I was different, you know what I'm saying? So like for me, brainstorming, like you said, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm always thinking about what can I do different? What can I do to really put people in position to see? Yeah. Like, damn, I wasn't thinking that, but now I can do that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like it was a test. You know what I'm saying? Like to start this, it was a thought becoming a thing. It was like, you know what, people have been telling me for years, man, you should have a show. You should have, be on the platform.
It's very on brand.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you be speaking good, man. You be pouring into people, man. So for me, as an entrepreneur, like the real true idea and essence of it all, really became a thing because I got a passion to see other people who aspire to be great become great. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's big for me. You know what I mean? It's good to accomplish some stuff on your own. It's good to see, success for yourself. But I wanted to be the dude that said I had a real hand in that person or those people coming up. You know what I'm saying?
The impact, for sure.
That's really what it was, bro. It really came from laying up, like you said, putting notes on my phone because I'm up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just putting stuff in my phone.
Those are the what do they call it? I don't know. I don't know the right words, but around those times and those hours be like, you get some of the best stuff.
That's the downloads. You know what I'm saying? The best downloads come.
I know everybody else probably sleeping. And,
when everybody else sleep.
Yeah, so your mind is just racing. And sometimes it is really good that you stop and pause and put the notes in because you'll forget the next day. But something like this, it's so innate and it's so natural. Yeah. When I watch all of the episodes, it's just like, it just flows. It's a conversation. Yeah. And about something that's very important. Whoever the guest may be, you know what I mean? But people that's watching and tuning in to take away from something each time is lucrative. So is that the pinch me moment, or is that just like I knew what I was gonna do anyway? But do you have those moments like, okay, episode 4, episode 5, like I'm really doing this? Yeah. And you probably saying like I can't stop now, like, you know what I mean? Is that that pinch me moment?
Yeah, it kind of was like, again to the first question, like why it started and why I believe it was necessary. It's literally like it's so many people out here, man, that want big, that want the next level. They want to get put on, so to speak, and nobody really truly reaching back. Nobody really like, they say it, they talk about it, but they ain't really being about it. So I wanted to have a platform where not only established entrepreneurs can get on and tell their story, because people need to see like the vulnerability, the transparency. They need to see like, damn, you this now, but where did you start? What was that aha moment? You know what I mean? So I've been that dude where grinding it out, doing what I got to do to make it happen for me and my family, and then not having those resources, not having that handout, you know what I mean? So now I want to be able to, people that don't got the resources and the handouts, let me be that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Be that vessel for sure.
So definitely that pinched me, you know what I mean? Going through it was more so like for me, like, damn, I got to start it because I did, do a mentorship, you know what I mean? And that's probably maybe a question you may have, but I did a mentorship, man. That's full transparency. You know what I'm saying? Like, I invested in myself the knowledge to understand what this podcast stuff was really all about. Yeah. And, shout out to David Shands, you know what I'm saying? 7-figure podcast. I watched this dude, you know what I mean? I seen him on social media a lot, and I was like, man, I like dude, you know what I mean? But he has a business podcast as well, you know what I mean? And it's like you can never have too many.
No, it's inspiring. I feel like we talk about it all the time, the water aisle and the bread aisle. Yeah. That type of logic. Everybody don't drink the same thing. Everybody don't eat the same. Right. But it's not saying that, just because they have this, I can't do bread, or I can't promote a water. Yeah, right. It's all different types of things. So that's how I look at all of the podcasts and all of the platforms. What can I take away from it? We all got our favorites, whether people listen to audiobooks or they're a visual person. Yeah. So watching your platform every week or every other week is like you get something different from, young entrepreneurs to seasoned entrepreneurs. It's all important. Yeah. So with that being said, was there a conversation or a moment that kind of shaped leadership in your mind mentally? Like, I didn't think about it that way. You know what I mean? Or kind of enhance what leadership really is for you.
Mean like as far as like the guests that I had,
The guests that you have outside of, the show?
It's always ongoing for me, though.
Yeah.
Like, for real, no bull. It's like every day I'm evolving and I'm trying to figure out what I did that I shouldn't have did, or what can I do different, or what should I be doing now. And then based on like all of the people that have been on the show thus far, it's been eye-opening. You know what I'm saying? I see myself in a lot of people, young and old, or the same age. And then also being able to reflect like, damn, okay, I was doing it this way and it was working, but if I was doing it this way, it would have worked a lot sooner, or it would be a lot better. You know what I mean? So for me, I just really think that every day, every interaction is a new opportunity for me to really like grow in every area, as a man, as a person, as an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? So that's really hopefully the answer to that.
Just still being that, just still being that sponge and seeing that, I can bounce ideas off this person. Like you said, the things that you probably shouldn't have done, some things to kind of enhance your overall leadership.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I feel like when people say leadership or being a boss or a CEO or anything like that, they don't really know what it comes with.
Yeah.
And some people unfortunately stop wanting to learn because they get to a certain place.
Or they think they know it all.
So you saying like it's always ongoing for you. So that's great to hear.
Yeah.
So how do you balance being a leader, running a business, and then still showing up, making that time for the show, the podcast, the platform? That's got to be a juggle.
Yeah, it is. And I'll say this too, like, I really believe I don't want to miss nothing. So whatever question you got, I want to make sure I hit it.
No,
I want to make sure that I let people know. Like, I try to be as transparent as possible when it comes to, I don't know it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, even as an entrepreneur for 20 plus years, almost 30 years, like, I still am learning. I am a sponge. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to elevate to the next level. And this podcast space was it was kind of intimidating when I'm hardly ever intimidated.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because you think,
knowing you personally, it's like, nah, he'll body that, he'll kill that.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, you understand it's such a widespread, especially in this time and age, like coming off of COVID and everybody being home and being in front of that camera.
Yeah,
it's a lucrative business, but also you do always have something to talk about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that's why I said, like, the thing for me, when I say intimidating, it was like, no, I don't want to try that. It's scary. I don't think I can do it. It was more like, damn, what if I really do this and it be big? You know what I mean? But also overthinking. You know, sometimes we in our own way most of the time. And so I was overthinking it. I was like, man, I gotta have the studio. I gotta have the lights. I gotta have the camera. I gotta have the people, the staff. I gotta have guests. You know, I'm thinking about too much. When again, the mentorship taught me, man, just start. You know what I'm saying? Just start.
You gotta just
turn the camera on. And, you know, people will be surprised, man, this platform that we on, everything that y'all see, you know what I mean, behind the scenes, like, y'all will be surprised that this setup and everything, you know, ain't ran by a well-oiled machine with a whole bunch of staff, man. We literally recording this on an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? We literally recording.
It don't look like it, but
you see what I'm talking about? You know, like, and that's transparent for y'all. So for the people that's out here that don't think that, I can start because I gotta have this, and this. You know what I mean? I had to go through the trial and error. You know what I mean? I literally took the mentorship, all the value that I got from that, and then I start spinning. You know, okay, what I need to do? Trying different softwares, trying different, you know, outlets, this website, that type of product, you know what I mean? And now honed in on this software works, phone and camera works, these mics work, you know what I mean? So I can get it going. And all I got to do is just turn the camera on and start talking. And the next thing you know, man, the law of attraction, you know, people start gravitating. People start saying, man, that's a dope concept. That's a dope idea. You know, here we are, Sovereign Brands, Bel Air. Like, I've had this ambassadorship, you know, prior to the podcast, which even sparked the name for the podcast, Leadership Over Libations. You know what I'm saying? So, again, like we said, there's so many other podcasts out here that's doing stuff. You got the Red Cup Boys, you got all this stuff, but nobody's really diving deep like we're doing, you know, over libations of choice, you know, good conversations, insight, inspiring, you know.
All different walks of life, all ages, as we spoke about the other day, too.
Yeah.
So let's go back, though.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, I don't know if anybody has ever asked you this, being that we're recapping, what made you even want to jump into the entrepreneurial space? Because you said this is intimidating, but being a leader or a boss, a CEO, the head guy, the head woman, that's scary too. You know what I mean? Because whatever industry it is, it takes a lot of work. You know what I mean? You don't see the other side. You don't know what you're going to get. People start restaurants and it go bad 6 months. People start all type of businesses, and it just be like, that can be a very scary thing. And 20 plus years in, you still going and you still trying to figure out different lanes and different avenues. So what made you want to even say, like, you know what, I want to do something on my own? Where did that come from?
What age?
No, just where did it come from? Or age too. But where did that come from? Where did that bug, that spark come from to be like, you know, I'm gonna go all in on I'm gonna bet on myself?
Man, to be honest, man, I think it started off when I was a little dude. You know what I mean? Like, I've said it a few times on episodes, but for me, like my mom, you know, watching her get it out, you know, on her own, you know, take care of me and my brother and my sister. And I knew I wanted to make a better life for not only her, but for me when I get my family and so on and so forth. So, like, I knew I didn't want to work for nobody. I seen my mama get laid off from a job she committed to 16, 17 years. And, you know what I mean, had to figure stuff out and couldn't get rehired. So I'm thankful to God that, you know what I mean, I was in position financially in my 20s, you know, starting business, investing in real estate, owning a barber salon, you know, cutting hair, that I was able to tell moms, don't even go back to work. You know what I'm saying? So that for me at that moment was like, oh, I can't do nothing else. I can't do nothing different. I never work a job. I never punch a clock. I'm going to figure it out. You know what I mean? And I said something the other day on live, man. I'm on TikTok and stuff now, man. Like, I said, my worst day in entrepreneurship beats my best day at a job that I never had. You know what I'm saying? Think about that.
That's a way to look. That's a way to look.
You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, you have ups and downs. People think it's sweet because you got the money, you got the cars, you got the trips, you got all that stuff going on. But you have more downtime and more losses or lessons in entrepreneurship than anything else in life. Because the risk takers jump off the cliff or jump off the bridge, with no parachute, you know, and they figure it out down to the ground. You know what I mean?
But again, it goes back into what I was just saying. Like, that's got to be scary, though.
Yeah,
because you said your worst day is like, man, let me do something much more secure,
quote unquote secure. Yeah, like
and that's not even secure though.
Exactly.
Because a business can go bad.
Yeah,
and it's like
companies lay off, fire every day.
You're an employee. You know what I mean? And I understand both sides, but for you personally and seeing it in real time, it's like I've seen the really good times, but then it's like, you know, even going back to Set Apart. Yeah, you know what I mean? Seeing that was my first thing, seeing you be in that space and to maintain that, because, you know, having a lounge and having a space like that, it's all on the people. Like, if they come, they come. They don't, they don't. Some people come in the rain, some people don't. It's where we from, it snows. They like, and you just sitting there like, damn. Yeah. I said, we ain't just got to still get, you know what I mean? And everything still got to flow. Yeah. But you said as a youngin', seeing that and knowing that in your mind, that's impressive, because at whatever age that was, you thinking like, I got to go to the league. I got to go to college and this, you military. All of those things are options. And I think, you know, I commend everybody that take the big bite out of entrepreneurship and say, you know what, this is what I want to do. And also, I feel like you probably always had a goal, like, this is my lane. This is just what I'm very good at. I've learned this. I've studied it. I'm going to tackle it. You know what I mean? So, no, that's refreshing to hear that, you know, your worst day in entrepreneurship beats your best day if you was to be working a job. You know what I mean? I never looked at it that way.
The main reason why I say that, you know what I mean, it's not to knock people that work a job, work a 9 to 5. You
that's
know,
not what we're doing.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like, have a backup plan, have an exit plan, you know, because it's inevitable. These people are in control of your time, your money, you know, your quality of life, whether we want to keep it real or not. I tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. So it's one of them things for me that I always seen, that I could see them people strip my mind from an opportunity, you know, without warning. You know what I mean? And that's deep. That hit me in the chest at an early in my 20s.
It happens to a lot of people.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, good people work every day, man. Punch a clock, show up early, stay late, and then they get told, you know, this your last day. We don't need you. We got to cut your hours. We got to cut your time. We got to da-da-da. And I'm like, I'll never be caught in that situation.
Yeah.
So again, imagine you being excited, getting up, putting your outfit on and going to work and knowing you got bills, knowing you got aspirations, knowing you got goals, you got kids. And then them people say, yeah, I'm sorry,
I understand, but this is business. You know
yeah, and they ain't finna give you nothing. You know, whether you got a severance or whether you got the little bit of 401k plan that you got. Yeah, all that. You know, or just I hope you figure it out. You know what I mean? And again, that's why I tell people, man, if you do got a 9-to-5, man, get you an exit plan. You know what I mean? Like a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, a 60-day, 90-day plan. You know what I mean? Just to know. Forget the side hustles. Forget I got a side hustle. I got my job, my 9-to-5, my guarantee, my security, but I do this over here. Well, if you're doing that over here, commit more time to that. If you know without a shadow of a doubt, it can be more lucrative than your 9-to-5.
Yeah, because I feel like also too, the side things that people do, they enjoy that more than the 8-to-4, the 9-to-5, or the 7-to-3. So I think people should probably start looking at it that way too, because in this time and day, entrepreneurship is at an all-time high from 20 years old to people are restarting at 50, 60, right? Especially with social media, our phones and everything like that. So the biggest thing that's sticking out to me right now to ask you, has there been an episode in these 10 that you've had like a surprising, shocking response to from the audience? Like a DM or a tweet or a TikTok or a message, like, oh, dang, I didn't know our reach was going to like impact that type of person or this type of response.
To be honest, man, like I get excited about the
all 10 are great.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, it has to be something like that stuck out. Like, oh dang, they responded like that's dope.
Yeah. I get excited. I do get excited about every little thing. You know, most people be like, oh, that ain't big yet. I ain't got 1,000 subscribers yet, or I ain't got this and that. But I document mentally and try all the time to be verbally expressive when it comes to appreciation, right? So when you think about, you know, I think right now as we speak, you know, the 10 episodes in, and this one right here, if you want to call it the 11th episode, we about 74, 75 subscribers on YouTube.
That's great. From June, right?
Yeah, since June, since start. Okay. You know, without a lot of promotion, I'll be honest, I'll take accountability. Like without a lot of promotion, not posting every day, I don't got a social media manager.
It's an adjustment though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So trying to learn the space. Everything is all brand new, but I like to document this type of stuff because people need to see the process to the promise. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for me, I'm sitting here looking like, man, I could post more. I could put more reels out. I can do more, you know, highlights.
And let's be honest, you a one-man band right now.
I'm a one-man band, bro.
I think
like you sitting here in the studio.
10 episodes to be running the show, you know, editing every weekend, posting clips, reaching out to people, all that.
Thumbnails, you know what I mean? Everything that you see on this whole platform has been self-propelled. Like from, again, a thought becoming a thing, me taking the risk, me taking the chance, me ironing it out. And I'm sure people that's watching, people that's listening can see even the growth. You know what I mean? They can see how I went from the remote episodes, obviously, because we wasn't in the same place, but remote to in-person, to how the in-person interviews even grew and transitioned into, wow, it's looking real polished. You know what I mean? So again, having 70-something subscribers, going to the 100, going to 10,000, going to 100,000, going to 1 million. Of course, that's on the horizon. But I look at, step by step, process by process, baby steps as it go. Yeah. As long as I'm being consistent, you know what I mean? So
that's the game. Like
you said to your question, and I don't want to lose it, you know, like me being a one-man show is not to pop my chest out. It's more to show people, man, that if I can do it, you can do it too. Yeah. It's more to show people like, man, ain't no excuse.
It goes back to what you just said. Excuse me. It goes back to what you just said about going a little bit ahead. Like, oh, I need this, I need that, I need staff, I need lighting, I need this microphone, I need blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah, just turn it on. Well, let's get to it. Yep. Have something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Being very intentional. Stand on brand too with Leadership Over Libations, which we're indulging in right now. But
so before I forget, go back. So you asked, the question at hand was, you know, essentially like
the response for audience.
The response. So like all the responses that I've been getting, thank God, you know, knock on wood, have been all promising. They've been all, you know what I'm saying? They've been all supportive. It's been, you know, when you look at your analytics and all that, you see, you know, likes 100%. You don't see no dislikes. You know what I'm saying? Again, you know what I mean? And you see comments, the fire emojis, you know, man, I needed this, you know, stuff like that. So I'm like, man, you know, people are making an impact. My stuff, my platform, but the guests that I'm having on, you know what I mean? I know all the guests from the first episode to the last episode, you know, been able to build a bond with them, you know, and to off the platform still communicate, still interact, you know, sharing their growth and sharing their, you know, their testimonies and all of that. So that's big, you know what I mean? So, you know, shout out to, you know, again, all the listeners, all the followers, all the subscribers, you know, all the people that been really rocking with me since day one, because it feels good to look back on, you know, you starting and then seeing the people that's been rocking with you and then now how that grows. You know what I mean? So like, I'm really thinking like you was talking about earlier, you know, every 10.
Yeah,
you know.
I think I said that because every 10 or every milestone, which we're going to call it a milestone, we're going to get something else from the next 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe, you know, the upcoming guests that we may have on the platform completely shock you, the listeners, everything. You know what I'm saying? That one of those stories that you'd be like, damn, you were supposed to give up. And I think those are the biggest things as far as being a leader, an entrepreneur, that I think everybody face. Even people that's winning so well right now, from the Bezos to everybody, like taking a hard L. We may not see it, but a number to them probably like, dang, I ain't want to. Yeah, that's an L. They may see all of these billions and success stories, but it's like the other things that it could be. It don't even got to be something big. It could be something small to make you want to give up. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. I've been there.
And I asked you that question too, as far as the response of the audience, because negativity, I hate to say it, but it prevails. You know what I mean? And it's like
it's needed. It's
those
necessary.
little one fan may say something and be like, "What? Everybody else love you, but now you responding to this." You know what I'm saying?
you
Just a little
you
bot,
triggered.
a
You
bot,
triggered.
or it could be even bot. It probably ain't got to be a real person.
Yeah.
But that triggered you because you passionate, you consistent, you love it. You know what I mean? So it's human nature. But definitely shout out to all of the guests thus far, because man, when this thing hit to like 100. I'm like, man, I was on the first episode.
Exactly.
Episode.
And that's what I said.
seen it when it was a baby.
You know, like I said, you know, shout out, you know, again, I know I'm all verbatim, all in order and sequence and out of sequence. You know what I mean? I'm grateful for all the people who took the time out, man, to believe in the vision, to share their story. You know what I mean? Like, to know that every single person, it's like Ricky Bobby, that movie Ricky Bobby, the Talladega Nights, he said, if you ain't first, you last.
Ferrell,
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I believe that. Like, I want people to be a part of something great in the beginning so they can say, and they can get the accolades to say, man, I was there when he was just doing this or when he was doing that, and now that he's here. You know, I don't look at, I got to have Denzel Washington on my podcast for it to be popping. You know what I mean? Denzel, that's
you
my
have
dude.
Denzel as one episode and everything else is just like
exactly,
and then nobody's watching it,
and nobody watching. You know what I'm saying?
Keep clicking on that one.
Yeah, so it's divine timing and purpose for everything. That's why I'm very, very big on that. So I know everything that's happening right now is supposed to happen. It was meant to happen. You know what I mean?
And this podcast and this platform is not driven by who's going to be on it, because of the brand and because of what we're doing with Libations, for sure. Talking about leadership, everybody looks at it like, oh, the big names, you know what I mean? But there's people who do some dope things that somebody else needs to hear from, and like, man, that just gave me a spark to start this. Not even necessarily a podcast, but just any business. You know, like the last few episodes, just talking about different things. And I think no episode was like, oh, it's kind of like the same. They in the like same lane. I don't think it has.
And believe it or not, that's what I
don't know if you strategically did that or not.
No, I didn't. That's why I say everything is organic and authentic and off the cuff. Like, we don't have scripts. You know what I'm saying? I just go from a template or a platform of.
And it's the relationship too. Like
if I'm able to, like the last episode that I did, you know, with the young entrepreneur, you know, Lawrence.
With the cars.
Lawrence, the CEO. You know what I mean? He was like, it made me feel good to know that I felt his energy when I first met him. You know what I'm saying? But to hear him on the platform say that, man, I appreciate being able to do this, because not any and everybody can get me to open up like this. Right. You know what I'm saying? So for
everybody don't like this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody don't like it, and they don't like being seen on TV and stuff like that. But I can say from experience, you know what I mean, and really just interacting with people, that it's bigger. Every other podcast and every other platform, every other topic it's leadership over libations. All they talk about is entrepreneurship. All they talk about is this and that. But everybody's walk of life is different.
Different.
Yeah, everybody's story is different. You know, everybody's success is different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's outlook on failure is different. So I want to get that. You know what I mean? I want to know, damn, you supposed to quit a long time ago. Bro, I just said like Cartisha Henry, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of people like that.
Winz Sweet, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cartisha, man. You know, like she was my first in-person interview.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember that.
So didn't have no backdrop, didn't have nothing. You know what I mean? People probably didn't notice that, right? But she was on the episode and shared her story, man. She's the owner and the CEO of the Winz Suite, you know what I mean? And I seen her story on TikTok, you know, and I'm like, man, it was compelling. I got inspired. I was like, man, I need to talk to her. Slid in her DM, not on no relationship stuff. That's a married woman. You know what I mean? I'm like, look, I want to hear your story, man. Like, God is really, you know, moving, and I want to hear what's going on. And she told her story. If y'all want to see that episode, make sure y'all check that out. But
check that one out.
You know what I'm saying? She literally gave me hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I done did this, did that. I really ain't did nothing. You know what I mean? Like, this lady took a L of 50,000, 100,000.
It's always a different story, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Because I think sometimes, too, we know the stories, or we've heard the stories to where people start off super good, years of success, and then boom. It's like, damn, that first blow is like, oh, man, should I stop?
I fold?
Or some people grind to get their first break.
Yeah.
Or people give up, you know, either or. But, no, for sure. Like, and I think specifically with that episode with her, she probably just like, this out of left field. Like, somebody want to talk to me about it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went through that. Sure, because we need to hear that.
Yeah.
And I.
But she was very appreciative, very
always
well
hear so
polished.
much success stories without the L's.
Yeah.
Because I think that could intimidate people too. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't never had no bump in the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No.
And people will make you believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no entrepreneur on this green earth, including the Warren Buffetts, the Robert Kiyosaki's, you know, the Donald Trumps. You know what I'm saying? The people that have been in success, that are successful, that have been entrepreneurs, bankrupt, filed bankruptcy, you know, multiple times, you know, took L's, was homeless, you know, all that. So there's no
just bad business overall that you can't control.
Learning.
You know what I mean?
You know, so that's what I always tell people, man, don't avoid the process if you really want the promise, because I don't never think about the possibilities of me failing. I always think about
very optimistic.
Yeah, what if I win? You know, what if this blow up?
It actually works out.
Yeah,
and I think that's where you are now, 10th episode. Like, damn, like, I was thinking, like, what if I get into it and I just love it?
Oh, yeah, I'm on cruise control.
Itch, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm on cruise control now.
It's an itch to where you're like, oh, I can't wait. And that brings me to my next question, too. Like, 10th episode, how do you see the next 10, or just overall, the platform evolving? Like, do you have can you gauge it a little bit? Do you have aspirations for the next 10?
That's a real good question. For me, excuse me. For me, like, looking at the first 10 was really like organic. You know what I mean? Like, go with the flow. Like, the people that say, yeah, I'll do it, I want them on, you know. And again, me not being scripted, me not having a cue card, me not having all right, take, you know, none of that. It's all just pew and pew. So I'm shooting and spewing out what feels right to ask or what's right to respond. So it really is like, for the next 10, I'm being led by, you know, energy. I'm being led by, you know, God saying this person will be a great fit for what you are doing, and vice versa. Because I look at it as a reciprocal thing.
It definitely is.
I want people to come on my platform, not like they doing me a favor, I'm doing them a favor. Yeah. We helping each other. I'm exposing people to hear the good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. You know what I mean? So they can be inspired to say, you know what, I was about to give up, but since I heard her or heard him, I'm ready to get it cracking. You know what I mean? So for the next 10, you know, very, 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 you know, plainly put, I feel like I do want to spread out to more aspiring entrepreneurs.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? People that are creatives, visionaries, you know, that are working a 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying, that have been working for 5, 10, 15 years and still don't got the American dream, so to speak. So like, I want to reach out to more people like that to be guests you know what I mean, for this next 10.
Those are needed too.
Yeah, mainly because you want to see the heart of a champion. You know, I believe more in people than they believe in themselves sometimes. Yeah. You know, and that's needed because a lot of times people be thinking that because you're not so where you are, you know, or where you want to be right now, that it can't never happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If that makes sense. It's like, you know, I talk about being in the right rooms, you know what I mean? Not being intimidated about being in rooms that you don't think you belong in. You belong in them rooms because even though they got more or they may think they smarter or more polished, you got something that they don't have. You know what I mean? And a lot of multimillionaire billionaires, man, they hire people that are creatives, that are visionaries.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I think it's important to have, it's important to not be the smartest person in the room. And having other people around, just like a lot of these big companies, got people that's like, oh, you do that better than me? Let's go. You know what I mean? Show me. Because right now, being a one-man band, it ain't a flex, like you said. It's not to be like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. No, it's okay. You're working harder, while everybody else is working smarter. So yeah, I look at it that way too. Curveball. Do you think that, or is it fair to say, and I'm not sure if you look at it this way, but it just came to my mind. Do you think a platform like this could be like a reminder to those that's trying to get into the entrepreneur leadership space that it's not for them? Like,
that's definitely a curveball.
It's probably because also I think, you know, you can aspire to be so much, and God gave us the ability to think well beyond anything that we can imagine, right? Because it's all attainable, like you always say.
Yeah.
You know, if it doesn't exist, man, go create it.
Exactly.
But sometimes I think that, you know, in life, like, maybe this is not for me.
Yeah.
It's informative, but this is probably not for me because I believe that everybody should be doing something that they absolutely love and be passionate about. Right? And I do think that, you know, you see somebody in this lane and you just trying to, like, people do podcasts and they just talking about, you know, gossip and kicking that tea or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is not really helpful. You know what I mean? But other people, you know, in different spaces be like, oh, that's really, I actually need to hear this. I actually want to watch this.
Yeah.
So do you think like, this is, maybe my platform could be a reminder, like, you know, stay out of this. Like this is a different world.
For sure. And that's a good curveball question. Like the thing that I look at it like this, I believe more in people than they believe in themselves. Yeah. So I have been basically shunned, blackballed, ostracized for pouring into people. You would think that's crazy, right?
Like you're not trying to like gatekeep, or
exactly like this. It's like this. I've been in financial services for 20 plus years, right? I do investments, I do insurance, I help people with loans and restructure a mortgage and so on and so forth. So for me, I've been trying to hire, train, and develop people in that space, right? And people that are so, you know, kind of comfortable doing what they're doing at their job or whatever, everybody think it's a scam. Everybody, you know, got to be skeptical. Everybody got to do more research. I tell people, don't be so broke that you can't even pay attention. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy that, you know, people, you got to recognize sometimes that you're not cut for everything. Like, I know I know I probably could do soccer, you know, play football, but you know your limits, you know what I'm saying? And then you know if you even want to attempt, you know what I'm saying? So I know what I could do, but I don't want to attempt it. And you 100% right. You are 100% right of what you say you can or cannot do.
You got to be real with yourself.
You got to be real. So to answer that question, I would say I don't want this platform to be, you know, one that intimidates or pushes people away from entrepreneurship. I want them to be able to, like you said, have that aha moment to say, you know what, even though I've heard all the good, the bad, you know, the success stories and so on and so forth, I know that my lane is this. But let me be good in my lane. Let me stay focused in my lane. Let me be the best I can. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell people, man, your passion could turn into profits. You know what I'm saying? But if you're doing what you're doing every day and you're not passionate about it, it'll show. Because I ask people all the time, if you really truly love your job like you say you do, would you keep doing it if they stop paying you tomorrow? And most people say, oh, hell no, I wouldn't. You ain't passionate about it.
I think it goes back into, I always say this too, in sessions and in studios and all of that. Like, what's your why? What's your why behind everything that you do? Because I think the why, like, life, it's going to happen, ups and downs, financial stuff, all of that. But I think the why is like, it keep you in it, and it
Exactly.
reminds you like, this is why I do this. Like
Exactly.
you just said, man, if they didn't pay you, would you do it? Like,
I say why
that about the music. Like,
yeah.
man, listen, I could be compensated in different ways. I ain't gonna be no fool.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like something in the account,
Mm-hmm.
and I could just stay there all day and just crank out and for the love of it. Oh man, I'm there.
Yeah.
And I think that I wish everybody was like that in life. Unfortunately, they're not. But I think we'll get there as a human race.
Yeah.
But no, I had to throw you the curveball because I feel like that is actually good for people. The reminder, like, hey, this ain't.
Because that prevents you. It prevents you from busting your head.
Yeah, because the hustle is there, right? Like when we came out of COVID and we seen everything virtual and everybody was getting so much money, like
PPP
being in front of the camera, even that, the hustle. But being in front of that camera and having one of these, it's like it was on discount. Like everybody was just like, I want to talk about something, talk about relationship stuff. I want to talk about this, like.
Yep.
But it's not. You see a lot of people just like kind of fade it out a little bit because it's like, how much can you really talk about BS? You know what I mean?
For sure.
But with this platform, it's so lucrative because everybody that's in this space has a story to talk about, whether they really ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I think you also create a space to where it's like people are comfortable to just sit here and just let it flow.
Yeah.
Because it's the real questions. It's your real life. I'm not pulling it from anything. I'm not asking you about your relationship stuff. I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah.
We're talking about you. Like people want to know. So who does or who has inspired you as a leader? Like looking at another leader and being like, dang, like you mentioned David earlier. But like who really like, man, when I see him or I see her do some stuff that keeps me going. It's like a reminder of like, you know what I mean?
So it can be,
if there is somebody.
It can be person or like celebrity or anybody. Just work ethic altogether, what you saying?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
They get to
I mean, I got a lot of them, really, because again, I'm a type of person, man, I give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
I definitely don't, make it seem like I figured it all out on my own and I know it all and I don't need nobody. For me, in this particular space, the podcast space, definitely David Shands, CJ, E.T., Eric Thomas.
Solid.
You know what I'm saying? Like these cats I looked up, at, in my entrepreneur journey. Like, man, they consistent. They doing this. They speaking. I done speak in front of thousands. I done spoke over, thousands of people, you know what I mean, in financial services and training and coaching and developing. But in this particular space, it's plenty of them. You know what I mean? Like, when you think about, even Cam and Mace, you know what I'm saying? Joe Budden, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at these cats and they be like, man,
Joe's really good.
Man,
He's
like,
really good
they come from a music background. You got Tank and them doing their thing, so I see, now you got Sean Stockman. You got so many different people doing podcasts. So when I say, dang, I look at it from the stance of if they can do it, of course, I know I can do it and I could probably do it better. But I don't even look at it from that lens because everybody got their own lane and their own pocket and their own demographic or their own audience, right? So for me, the inspiration comes from within. It just comes from my desire to just want to win and want to be great, at whatever level that is for me. Because I don't base my greatness or the lack of based on how big this podcast is or how big this person's business is.
Their success don't mean
your
failure.
Yeah, it don't. Because at the end of the day, if I play the comparison game, I'll always lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like everybody would.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then to really be, to hone in on that question in totality, it's like, I look at people's success and I'm saying, man, I look at the people that, damn, they got money though. You know what I mean? Like they got money, they got a presence, they have status. People know them for this.
They already
and
got
that.
A following in the culture.
Exactly. So it's kind of easy. Yeah. So I want to be the person that stands out and says, don't nobody know you from nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody know me from nobody.
See, that's, you name some people, but your story, which brings me to my next question, but I'm gonna keep that question in mind. But it does make sense because I don't know if that might be the flex. That could probably be the flex, right? Like, starting it, nobody know you from the can of paint. You do have a story. You got a similar story to other people as well. But there's no huge capital. There's no bag. There's no like There's nobody behind this camera.
Nobody's
behind this camera. Nobody. People can see it.
If I did a visual and showed y'all literally what was behind here, y'all would be camera. Like, what?
Right. But it goes to my next question. If you, considering your journey, right, 20 plus years, what would you title your journey if you had to name it? It could be like a song. What would that title be?
My statement that I coined and I always use: the process to the promise.
The process to the promise.
Yeah, because in totality, the process to the promise. What I said in the earlier episode, my brother from another mother, Omero Hernandez, I said the process to the promise ain't pretty, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, your process may be different from everybody else's or whatever. You know, it may be smooth sailing to the top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You might be a poster child of, I didn't never have to struggle. You know what I mean?
People, you know what's so interesting? Not to cut you off, but you just said something very vital. I kind of believe this, but some people haven't been through anything yet.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm talking about the real hardships, like a LL. An L that's supposed to take
Lose it all.
out.
Lose it all.
You know what I mean? Because I've seen you go from like, man, like, it's popping, it's cracking, to like some shifts. And it's not necessarily anything that you did wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like,
the season.
Hey man, your time is up.
Yeah, the season.
And I think a lot of people want to hold on to, summer's great. I'm not a big fan of heat, but for some people, summer is amazing. I think the summertime is fitting for so many things. But it changes, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think a lot of people can't recognize like when it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And I think you did that so gracefully. It was like, man, it was like just grinding your teeth, but it's like, I don't want to do it, but at the same time, I know what this is.
Necessary.
So I can't really get too heavily emotional about it and, you know, too invested in like clinging on to this moment.
Holding
or this
on
thing.
to the very thing.
Coming from the crib, it's like, I think we all kind of had that in our minds until you grow out of it and you see something differently.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked you as far as the evolution of the platform and the podcast. Like, I don't think we seen, I don't know if you did, but when you first brought me the idea, I'm like, okay, I know he can do it, but what it's gonna look like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who gonna really like tap in for real? Because I know he can carry it. Like you were doing the virtual episodes and you go live and things like that. But it's like someone receiving him to like, I'll sit down and talk to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know we do this all the time. Like it's we talked about this years ago. But it's just like, we talked about that when we was back home. Like, it's like, man, we could just set up right here. And we like,
at the lounge.
But is it the time? Is it the time to really do that? Because I feel like we would have did it at that time. I think that we would have wanted to, you personally probably would have wanted to, man, get everybody. It probably would have been pulling teeth because I don't think people are really in that space.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back into the podcast right now and seeing everybody like really crack off with this. Like, oh, I can get on there. I can talk something crazy. But you're so structured to where it's like, we're not getting on here playing. We're really talking about, you know, the journey.
Exactly.
And being very transparent too. Like, I don't want anyone to think that even people aspiring to be entrepreneurs and leaders in their own right, wherever age you are, look at these episodes and be like, what did I take? How does this fit with me?
Yeah.
Maybe not the whole thing, but that pointed out to me.
Yeah.
I needed to hear that. You know what I mean? So, but that's you said the promised land. The process to the promised land.
Yeah, I would.
It's definitely not pretty. No,
I would label it that. And then like to, you know, you said so much that I want to make sure I jump back in on that. Like, you know, the starting out, you know, having Set Apart Lounge, you know what I mean, and now expanding that, you know, opening up another one here, you know what I mean. So it's like that to be able to know now I have a platform on this podcast to now it makes it even more popping in the process of being in my actual organization or actually in my business, like Set Apart Lounge, Leadership Over Libations, they go hand in hand. So now we doing interviews actually in the spot, you know, seeing people having a good time and all that, you know what I mean? So I thought about all that. It was always a vision, and like now it's coming where it need to come, the divine timing I talked about. So when I look at, like I said, my whole life's journey in entrepreneurship, it was a process. And like you said, you know, I done had bumps and bruises, and anybody that can tell you that they didn't, they lying. You know what I mean? Like times that I wanted to throw in the towel, times that I set up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning looking at the ceiling, like, man, what's going on, God? Like, man, I'm passionate. I'm trying to do this the right way.
It's interesting though that you just said that, because I feel like we all had those, and you're just much more transparent about it.
Yeah.
But also too, do you believe that sometimes it's like, nah, but not right now, or also like, not there, not when these people are around? You feel like God won't bless it if it's like, let me get this out the way, let's move you over here, let's move you down here, up here, over there, and then go.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's all about
because you can get really antsy and impatient.
Yeah.
Not you specifically, but people as human beings, we can get very antsy and impatient because we want to do it. We got the vision. I got it all.
Well,
right.
I think I say this all the time, but I think I said it probably in a episode or two prior before too. That God has such a sense of humor that He will bless you and give you exactly what you ask for, even if it ain't good for you.
I believe that.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it ain't good for you, even if it or they.
Let me just show you.
Yeah, let me show you. Yeah. I love you so much that I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give them to you, even though they ain't, or that is not good for you. So you can learn, so you can come back to me and you can exhibit patience. You can exhibit temperance. You can exhibit, isolation.
Yeah.
And we talked about before, even in the music stuff, you know what I mean? Like with the interlude. You know what I'm saying? The interlude of an album or a CD or, whatever, it's that pause. It's like, before I give you this next step or this next level, I'm finna pause you.
Man, them interludes be like.
Yeah. And I'm in one now. I'm in one now. That's full transparency. I'm in one now.
Yeah.
I'm in one now in the process of doing what I'm doing here on this platform.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when people think that it's all glam and glitz and lights and you doing it, you making moves, but God has put me in a position where, hey, I'm going to put everything on hold so you can work on you a little bit more, because this next level about to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? This next level, I really need to know that you are a good steward. I really need to know.
Stewardship is important.
Yeah, accountability is big. So being able, I've always been accountable to myself. I don't blame people. I don't make excuses, because they only comfortable with people that make them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the type of person, man, for real, bro. Like, you've known me long enough to know that if I see something, if I believe something, I'm gonna go hard and I'm gonna do it.
Facts.
But God has shown me that I know you want it. I know you passionate. I know it's yours, but you gotta wait. And you're like, man, God, why? I can taste it. I can feel it. I'm ready right now. You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, because if I'm working the kinks out. That's almost like, man, I always use analogies, man. Like I can ramble.
Facts.
I can ramble, but like, dude, imagine
you.
being on the road, you know what I'm saying? And knowing that this is the route that I always take. This is the route that I always take to my job, to my destination, to my gym or whatever. And then they doing road work. And they like, oh, well, you can't get through.
A detour.
It's a detour, right? And so you can do one or two things. You can get mad, get frustrated, and go back home, or you can take the detour that may take a little bit longer, or, be a little bit more frustrating.
Might be for your safety too.
It might be for your safety because you avoided some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people be thinking like, no, I'm going to go anyway, or no, I'm going to do this anyway. When God is saying, no, I did those things. I put those things in your path as a provision and as protection. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that in this entrepreneur journey that I've done some things. I've owned some businesses. I've sold some businesses. I've lost some businesses. You know what I mean? And now rebuilding businesses to the point where God is saying, as long as you stay consistent, as long as you show up, as long as you are a good steward, I'm going to bless you immensely. And a lot of times that stuff you thinking, this is going to be this. I only want this much. But he finna give me overflow if small. I just sit still.
Thinking small, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Small. What came to me right now with what you just said about, the detour and the stewardship. 20-year-old self, right? Your 20-year-old self. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna age you. We're gonna go 20. What would you tell your 20-year-old self right now at this point in life? What would you say?
What would my current self tell my 20-year-old self?
Yeah, if you can go back and just your 20-year-old self is right there, and you like, man, I got some things to tell you. What would you say?
To be honest, man, like, I hope y'all don't think I'm jacking when I say this. Anybody that know me, anybody that's watching and listening know it's to be fact, right? When I was 20, I was already on. Like I was making money. I was doing stuff that the average adult wasn't doing. You know, I bought my first home at 20. You know what I mean? Like, was already exercising credit. You know what I mean? I was already dabbling in real estate, trying to learn that. You know, so what I would tell my 20-year-old self now, going through everything I've done and everything I've accomplished, I would say, learn a lot sooner what you learned later.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I wish I can go back because, again, shout out to Stormy Banks. You know, got on the show, talked about grants, talked about access to funding, how you can live off of funding, right? I'm 20 plus years in entrepreneurship, bro. I've never had a grant. I've never applied, never knew how to, never wanted to. You see what I'm saying? So having access to money that I can just say, this is what I'm on and y'all gonna give it to me, versus me trying to turn my gears and grind it out to try to accumulate it. You know what I'm saying?
I think it probably make you appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. It made me appreciate it. But that's what I said, to telling my 20-year-old self to say, look, bro, you on the right track, but exercise all the resources. Don't just think this is the only way you can get the bread.
Yeah.
Don't just think that you got to hustle hard. Because that's an old thing too. You know what I mean? We grew up, hustle hard. You know what I mean? That's all I do every day is grind. Yeah, but work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
There's people out here really, truly that's getting to the bag, man, on autopilot. You know, which again, I know that's a whole nother story, but now going from financial services, now dabbling in digital marketing and having money on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different ways to make bread now that if you tap in and stop being so skeptical and being in your way, that you really truly can have a dream and quality life. So my 20-year-old self was doing things and making money and living, quote unquote, a nice life. But I would reach back and say, what you're doing is cool, but do this too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't limit yourself.
Don't limit yourself. Do this too. You know, real estate is cool, but buying this and buying that, you know, and then now the Airbnb stuff is big. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine catching on to that wave early on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We was talking about that too. He was like, man, 20 plus years ago, Airbnb, Lyft, Uber, Eats, all of that. It's like, it was so foreign. That would have been a foreign idea.
Yeah.
Like, cause safety wise and like, privacy and all of that. But no, that's huge, man. Definitely being a little bit more open-minded. I think, even having this platform, telling the younger audience, this is probably a way to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's important. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't do that. They want to just, I need the whole
gimme.
You know what I mean?
Gatekeep for real. That's a big word. But what I've learned too also that it don't cost
things need
nothing.
to be gatekeeped.
Yeah.
Some things do in the community, but not
the ones
games.
not the ones that say they looking out and they want to help and they want to be a blessing to everybody, but they the main ones that buy my mentorship. Of course it's a place for that.
Business.
It's a business, you know what I'm saying? But don't be the person on the top of the mountain screaming that you looking out for so many people, but it's this little dude right here that got a vision out of this world and he ain't got the money. That $1,000 that you talking about for your mentorship, don't you think it'd make you feel better as a person and as an entrepreneur, but also even if it's a status quo?
Yeah.
To say, dude didn't have 1,000, I'm gonna invest in him because I ain't hurting.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and let dude get this mentorship.
For sure.
Let him pop and let him put me on the pedestal to say he looked out for me when I didn't have it.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying? That's bigger.
Shout out to Rico Love too.
Yeah.
He's definitely a person, mentor in my life. Great leader too. Great teacher that does things like that. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Man, just come vibe out. You know what I mean?
Where he could be like, man, little cuz gone. Man.
Yeah.
Move
very,
around.
very established songwriter, producer, artist, man. They're just always
Turn the lights on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If you don't know. That's one person for sure too that I got to shout out that has a really good heart.
Yeah.
But big question, probably the biggest question of the episode since we've been talking. What is a great leader? What makes a great leader?
What makes a great leader? And from my perspective, opinion,
just from your POV.
What makes a great leader? Of course, one worthy of being followed, but integrity, character, integrity, and just the heart to want to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's true leadership. That's true. You know what I'm saying? Like when you pay homage to a person, you know what I mean? When you idolize a person, or when you say, man, that's somebody I aspire or want to be like or want to pattern myself after, You know what I mean? Like, I always wanted to be there, because people tell you, mama, and everybody tell you growing up, you a leader. You don't be a follower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no such thing as a follower without leaders. Pick
Facts.
which one you want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, pick which one you want to be. And I'm a leader by design. You know what I'm saying? And I want to help other leaders. I want to inspire other people. But yeah, to that question, man, it's like, yeah, integrity goes a long way. I will follow somebody, not so much as because I'm a leader and I don't want to follow nobody. I will follow somebody that's going somewhere that I haven't been or not going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before I follow somebody just because of status, because of money, because of image. You know what I mean? So none of that stuff matters to me.
None of those out there.
Yeah, I don't care about none of that. Where are you going? And I attach myself to people. I manage, and I'm very protective of my energy, very protective of who I surround myself by and with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be attached to somebody that is going to help me and not hinder me. I want to attach myself to somebody that's going to, recharge me and grow me and not drain me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So leadership is that. You know what I mean? Like, how we talk, how we vibe, how we kick it with other people. When I go into a room, I want to be like, man, dude, he be talking, he be spitting. You know what I mean? Or, man, she really, I don't think I know it all. Again, Stormy Banks, 30 years old, man. Millionaire,
Yeah.
started her business with grants, and now she has a grant company. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
And I learned from her. I'm old enough to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Right.
learning from her. So that right there tells you enough that I value what she has done and what she is doing. And I don't think I know it all, or I can't think that because I'm older or because I've been an entrepreneur longer than you that, no, man, you humble yourself.
For
you know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Can you be a leader? Excuse me. Can you be a leader without being an entrepreneur?
That goes hand in hand, but you definitely can.
'Cause I think a lot of people, especially the younger generation, they feel like when they hear the word leadership, like, it's the head honcho, the one.
Yeah, they attach it to being a boss or a CEO.
A boss, right?
Yeah.
But everybody I think in a lot of companies, the person with the most influence ain't the person at the top.
Exactly.
Somebody in there, but it's like they really like making it happen and coming up with the ideas and being very innovative without being the top person, the CEO, the CFO, whatever the executive suite title may be. That's why I asked that question. Do you feel that you can still be a leader without actually being the man?
Yeah.
Or the woman?
Yeah. And the reason why, because, growing up in school, they used to always say, follow the leader, like line up, who's the leader of the line in kindergarten? You know what I'm saying? I'm the leader, so and everybody got lined up behind you. And people used to be mad, like, man, why you get to be the leader all the time? Well, the teacher eventually, the teacher starts to pick who they believe is the leader.
They can sense that.
You see what I'm saying? Believe that. Like, and it just hit me, like, that spirit led. Like, imagine being kindergarten, being first grade, and they tell you to line up for recess. And without a shadow of a doubt, you're the first one to go in front because I want people to follow me. I know where I'm going. I know what needs to happen. So follow me by example, right? So even as non-entrepreneurs, you should see enough in yourself and value yourself enough to be able to say, I'm a leader. I'm worth being followed, in every aspect of life, whether it be how I parent, how I move, you know what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur, but believe it or not, to that, being a leader internally, mentally, emotionally, and just having that integrity, like I said, and that character, you will be an amazing entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? You will be an amazing entrepreneur simply because you think about your boss, you think about at your job or the owner, the CEOs, the people that you don't even see. The people that make the millions and billions, they ain't never there. You see the management. You know what I'm saying? You see your manager, assistant manager, shift manager, whatever, right? And those people you don't like them. They're delegating. They're in a position to tell you what to do and what not to do and all that. But imagine having a quote unquote boss that you respected, that you couldn't wait to see. You know what I mean? Because y'all built a bond and they look at you as an equal and not as a peon, you know what I mean? So that's why I say character and integrity is what leadership all means to me, because it ain't like that I don't value authority or I can't accept authority. but I never wanted to be in a position where people tell me what to do, how to do, when to do, and all of that.
Especially if they're not willing to do it themselves.
Exactly.
And I think the greatest leaders, in my opinion, I like what you said too, but I also want to add to like a leader being someone like, I roll my sleeves up too. Or I've done this.
Yeah.
I wasn't always a CEO.
Yeah.
I was a bank teller once before too, or I've cleaned bathrooms and flipped burgers.
You've seen that firsthand with me at my lounge.
I'm gonna cook it. I'm gonna make the drinks. I'm gonna whatever if I ain't got the staff.
And believe it or not, and you've seen it again, where it was times where I'm in here. Most people didn't even know I was the owner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
true.
My cousin who was a bartender, you know what I'm saying? He was telling people, oh yeah, that's cuz stuff. He owned it. I don't want to be put on blast. I want to blend in. I want people to really come in my spot, rock with me, vibe with me. I'm in here making wings. I'm in here making drinks. I'm in here making hookahs. I'm in here doing everything around this mug because it's my baby, right? Sweating. And then again, I don't care about, like paid in full. He said, man, cats want to be the man just cuz. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't never been my MO. So if you come in my spot, you vibe with me, kicking with me, man, I'm matching bottles. I'm showing love, and people don't even care. People don't even appreciate that. So for me, I can be this boss and delegate and sit around and look at me, this my stuff. But then it's like, man, I want to help people to get where I'm at and even more. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I look at a lot of stuff different, man. And people be like, it's too good to be true, or he just jacking. Like, yeah, okay, well, come kick it with me.
Yeah, it's real life. It's real life, and I think that's probably why you had the guests thus far, because of that relationship, and kind of you can gauge it and see it, like you said on the last episode, that energy immediately was just like, oh no, this gonna be good. You know what I mean? And then also, everybody don't talk about their journey. They know their journey, but they don't get a chance to really talk about it with another like-minded person. Yeah. That's important too as a leader. In any space that you in, somebody like CEO talk to CEO talk is great. Yeah. But I think that when I said, can you only be a leader if you're an entrepreneur? But it kind of trumps my own question, because what you just said, as far as the CEO looking at you as an equal and you on the floor, and just coming to put their arm around you and just talk to you, maybe take you out to lunch and just be like, what? You might get an idea for the company from someone that's not even in higher position. Exactly. Or find out some things about, man, we need to probably do something better. Like this is going to tank. Yeah. You don't see what I see. Yeah. You up there. You don't see this. You don't see what's going on in the field. So I think that's important too. Yeah. A first listener of the podcast, of the platform, whether they're watching it, whether it's audio, what do you hope that they get from an episode? You know what I mean? A segment. Let's say first time. So even 10 episodes in and going, like if this the first time they heard anything that we got going on. My first thing that I hope that they always get, and I believe they do get, is the transparency, is the authenticity, is the genuineness and the energy of who I'm interviewing and me as the interviewer. Yep. You know what I mean? To be able to say his motives and his intentions are in the right place. Like I can hear it and I can feel it, that this is genuine and it's not just for the sake of doing something. You know what I mean? So when people hear that very first episode, of course I did an intro episode. I didn't count it as an episode, but I did an intro, kind of laying the foundation of what we doing. 12. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So laying it out. Yeah. I did a promo and then I did an intro of what to expect. And then my very first episode was, Breon Worthy, author, creative, designer, and that was remotely. Man, we had technical difficulties. The enemy got busy, man. You know what I'm saying? He got busy. It was his audio was all crazy, you know what I mean? Lighting was messed up. We had to stop and, re-record. We had to do a lot. Yeah. So the finished version, although quote unquote, in my opinion, not all polished, believe it or not, and they always say it always start like that with the first episode anyway, but believe it or not, that has the most views out of all my episodes. Really? You see what I'm saying? So, and the comments and the likes. So when you start to think about it, it's like, okay, that was my thought becoming a thing. And now looking at it, I felt like, oh my God, why did I even put that out? But now people like,
they gravitate to it.
It's raw and uncut.
It's raw and uncut. And so then it went to the second one, Omero Hernandez went to the third one, you know what I'm saying? My little sister, telling her story as a singer, writer, virtual assistant, single mom, all that. Me doing my solo stuff, you know what I mean? Cartisha Henry, my boy Will, Fitness Beyond 40, you know what I'm saying? And Stormy Banks, like my daughter, you know what I mean? My 18-year-old entrepreneur daughter, you know what I mean? Like, and then, Lawrence the CEO, and now we here. So everything is like,
it seemed like yesterday.
Yeah, for real. You know what I'm saying? So that's
sure.
why I'm like, anybody that hear it for the first time or watch it for the first time, I want people to be able to see, like, man, okay, I can latch on to this and really be inspired. Even if I'm not an entrepreneur, even if I need to step my game up, whatever it is, I want people to be able to listen or watch and be like, I see the passion in dude. You know what I'm saying? I see what he's trying to do here. I want to support it. So,
yeah, I feel like, well, I don't think I count, but somebody that definitely tunes in, I hope they grasp all of that transparency for sure. Even when I watch and listen to anything else outside of this platform, I could tell. You can tell. You can gauge when someone is really in it versus just being like kicking up and they just bought the equipment. You know what I mean? Yeah. No knock, no diss, but I don't even want to invest my mind and my time into things that I know is lucrative and also I can really take away from. You know what I mean? I learned something from that. Well, I ain't know that. It's informative, right? So no, I definitely wanted to ask that because, when it gets to 20, when it gets to 50, 100, the guest is going to look back like, oh, man, his platform grew. Yeah. And then, more businesses and things created from this, sparked because of this. And even seeing their success stories too, like, oh, dang, like, look how far they've came. And she got 4 restaurants now. And he got his own auto shop now. And, little sis took off with she got a brand deal. And, you know what I mean? All of these things. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my thing. That's why I said what I said, because I want to be able to look back and say, they were on my show first. That was the first podcast they ever did. That, they were there when they first started. Now look at them. Even again, right now, Cartisha Henry, since her interview with me, the situation, if you watch the episode, the situation that she was in, she's no longer in. God opened the door for her. And we spoke that on this platform. I spoke that into her life and said, no, I see God about to do amazing things, about to do something miraculous and change your whole situation. And lo and behold, she was on TikTok one day talking about how no longer have that debt, no longer responsible for this and that, excelling in the business that she already have, and that's growing. Now brand deals and, marketing her product. So it's like, man. I'm sitting back congratulating her like crazy, all in her comments and all that. Because I'm real. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's one of them things that I want to be able to, where people, like you just said, have seen the growth and seen and witnessed it, to where now they reaching out to me. I'm no longer reaching out in DMs and calling and saying, would you like to be a guest? Yeah. They're like, bro, I like what you're doing. I want to be on that. Let me get on here and share it. Let me drop some gems. You know what I'm saying? And then now the brand deals come. Now the sponsorships come. You know what I mean? And we welcome all that. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm not looking for it, but I'm attracting it.
Yeah. I think to add on from a listener's perspective and a consumer, I want it to be, and I want everybody's platform to be like that too, but specifically this one, be something that people look forward to on a Monday. You know what I mean? Like, oh, when the episode dropped? What's this? Because you're not really like, and I don't know if this is on purpose. Maybe you can tell me and give me some insight, but promoting the next episode. Like, oh, this person is coming on. I think it's just like when it drops, it's like, oh, I know that person.
And that's what I say. I got to do better with that.
But I think that could be probably like, it could be to your advantage a little bit, like maybe a tad bit, but not like most people preview that. You know what I mean? And that's cool as far as promotion wise. Yeah. But knowing that it is coming, like
anticipation.
That anticipation. Like, I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna turn this on. It's like Saturday cartoons. Yeah. Rushing to the TV. You know what I'm saying? Like even after school for me, watching videos and this is like you know that countdown is coming. But for this platform specifically, for people in this space, to get to grasp something that they can take to their everyday life and what they're doing. Because, like you said, you're not ever stopping your learning. Like, you always want to be like, oh, I ain't see it that way, or maybe you look at it this way. Like we all kind of have our blinders on a little bit, but just opening up your your brain a little to be able to receive that. You know what I mean? Especially these type of guests that you had thus far in this last 10 and the next 10, man. Like to get to 2025 and beyond. It's going to be something for everybody. Yeah. You know. So with that being said, do you have something in mind to where you're like, man, like, okay, I want to take this up a notch and switch gears, and I want to. Well, you did kind of see it already. The aspiring. Yeah. But outside of the aspiring entrepreneurs and people that trying to figure it out, the people. Do you want more conversations with people? That's like, man, 40 years in the game. Mm-hmm. That you can probably be like, man, I'm just sitting here listening. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely see, and I believe we're gonna attract the influx of entrepreneurs, veterans, people that have been in the game in whatever respective industry for 30, 40 years. They can drop some gems, some nuggets, and even help me and the people that's watching and listening. But I want to level up in the area of helping people get seen, helping people get put on. You know what I mean? Like literally, I have a segment. I started off as going to be a Patreon, type of membership thing.
Oh yeah, paid.
Paid. Behind the scenes. Of course, us kicking it, kicking back, sipping and all of that. I definitely wanted to do that, but more so now as it relates to entrepreneurs and other people that I have on, or aspiring entrepreneurs. I want to do a segment. I titled it Alley Oop and Assist with T Brown. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And that's more, you've seen Shark Tank, you've seen The Voice.
Pitching.
Pitching, what I mean? So I want to have people, on here, that have an idea, that have a brand, that have a product or service, or have a business. They like, I'm here and I want to get here. How do I do it? And pitch their idea, pitch their brand, pitch their business. And I have, a few serial entrepreneur investors, angel investors, that's interested. And it's almost like, they turn the button or they hit the green light. Kinda what I'm saying? Yeah, like The Voice. They spin around. Yeah, you know what I mean? Dope. So I want to incorporate that where I got people that's like, you know what, man, I like that. I like him. I like her. Bing! You know what I'm saying? And they get a deal and I establish that connection. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you play ball, it's the alley oop and the assist. So here you go. I get the assist. You get the benefit. Now you got the deal. Slam now dunk. You got the, you know what I'm saying? It's a slam dunk. So I definitely want to incorporate that for the next phase and the next, level that we're going. And then on top of that, again, just allowing, man, God to just work. You know what I mean? Being receptive, being open and able to just be consistent and show up. Because again, total transparency, it's days where I'm like, the weeks go fast. You know what I mean? So it's a lot.
We in month 8, month 9 almost.
It's hard sometimes for you to balance business, balance family, and be passionate about your baby or passionate about something that you're trying to grow. Because sometimes you can be like, well, I'll get back to it. It ain't big yet. It ain't really doing nothing like that yet. Right. So let me do this stuff. Yeah. And then I pick that back up. When God is saying, no, I want to see how you are a great steward of what I've placed in your care. So while you're doing this and doing that, put that same effort in there, even if you are tired, even if you don't want to do it today. You showing up is enough. Yeah. So now
that's the hardest part.
You see what I'm saying? So now here we are 10 in, and I had to reflect. I'm like, dang, 10 went quick. And now I need the next 10. Who I need to talk to, who I need to reach out to.
Very fast.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at now. So I'm excited about where we going, man. And I don't know what it holds, but I know it's great.
I believe it is. Like I said, the hardest part is already done. You're starting it. You know what I mean? Life is gonna life, like I said, and man, the enemy gonna be busy, but I think the biggest thing that I can see from the outside looking in, it's just like you really enjoy this. Yeah. And it's not something that's like, oh, I need a. It's not an ulterior motive or a ploy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you really enjoy it. You're really trying to give back in a way that you two are like. It's natural for you to have conversations, but also I'm giving these people the platform to do so. Yeah. And I do think that. It's not too many places like that a trusted space and a safe space, because we're not talking about anything else but your journey, the business. What do you want to do? All of these questions is not anything. Oh, how much you made last month? Oh, you know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about those type of things.
Yeah, for sure.
That doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see this being very. It's like the tip of the iceberg. Not even probably the tip of the iceberg. Like, I could see it going from a like I said, an anticipated, very expected. Like, I can't wait to hear the next episode. Or what's he gonna do now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to ask you too, like, before we wrap it up, do you feel like you ever getting too ahead of yourself? Like, you kind of spoke on about it a little bit. Like, all right, I'm gonna go over here, do this a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back to it, and probably not give LOL enough time and effort consistently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you feel like, let me just
chill,
or let me just keep going? Or you feel like
I'm on go?
You on to the next thing already, or you kind of like?
I mean, I've learned growing up, you know what I'm saying, don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. But I was always the person that tried to defy them odds. I can be a master of everything I put my mind to. You know what I'm saying? So, like, no matter if I'm doing my lounge, if I'm doing real estate, if I'm doing insurance investments, if I'm doing digital marketing, if I'm doing now social media stuff, I'm learning that. Anything that not a podcast, I got other stuff too, bro.
It's a new space for you.
Yeah, it's a whole new space. But guess what?
I want people to really realize that this is a very new space for you.
Very new space. Like, I'm totally brand new. Like I said, in total transparency, still learning as I go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing all the editing, all the, putting the pieces together. All the research is like, hours, behind the scenes, making sure it looked good. And before I upload it to YouTube, before I upload it to Spotify and all these other audio platforms, like, I'm doing that. I don't have a team. So for me, it stretches me and it holds me accountable. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because you wanted to do this.
Exactly. I wanted to do it. You know what I mean? So I can't blame nobody for it not working.
Right.
And if I say I don't feel like doing it today, who am I hurting? Nobody but me. But I'm hurting the people that now have bought into my vision. Yeah. So my thing,
you could be 10 episodes in and be like, man, what happened?
Exactly. What happened to them? And you thinking because you only got 70-something subscribers that the 70 or 10% of them ain't looking forward to it.
That says 87% capacity. Right? 70, 75 people to be in here right now in this whole thing, it'd be, this is a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
So people say subscribe, watch time, or let's say give you $5 or whatever. That's a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. So 1,000 to, people be tripping about the numbers, but that's still a lot of people. 75 people in your face is a lot of people if you was to put 75 people.
And I always say too, like to what you just said, like for me, I would rather take the few doing a lot or the lot doing a little. You know what I'm saying? And right now I have a few doing a lot, where if I got 10, 15 people rocking with me and they share, like, subscribe, whatever, and they send it on their pages, and that 10 turn into 100, that 100 turn into 1,000. You know what I mean? So it's a law of numbers. So for me, just continuing to do what I'm doing is all I got to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's days where I don't want to do it. It's days where I want to throw in the towel. It's days where I feel like, man, ain't nobody really rocking with me. I only got this many views. I only got this many. Nobody reposted. Nobody subscribed, But I don't think about that.
Yeah.
I think about that as being the motivation. I'm thinking about that as being, I remember when they wasn't subscribing. I remember when they wasn't liking, when they wasn't resharing. Now I scroll past my own FYP. You know what I'm saying? I scroll past my own videos. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to get to. You know what I mean? And it's already starting. What's so crazy? So yeah, man, like, I'm excited. I'm geeked, and I'm just as fired up as it was when I first started. To know that, what's coming, man, is already written, it's already ordained, it's already scripted, and I just gotta play it out.
You gotta just keep going.
Just showing
I think
up.
the biggest thing too in these takeaways, because I feel like you're gonna get to a space where everybody loves the names. Let's just be very transparent. People love seeing a name attached to a podcast and be like, oh, I gotta watch this. Whoever, the artist, celebrity, influencers, all of that, right? Like seeing that name come across that YouTube or that whatever, and be like, oh, I want to hear this. But I think what you do differently than other platforms, and I want to kind of close with this too, to remind you, like, you're specifically, strategically talking about the leadership, the business side of things, the journey, nothing else about the person, right? We can throw a name out there like Drake, right? One of the biggest artists right now, if not the biggest hip hop artist, rap artist. I'm pretty sure he would be surprised to not hear an interviewer or a platform talk about his money, his jet, his hits. To me, you are the CEO of OVO Sound. That's a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. On top of still pouring out hits and things like that. Like, what is that business side of you? Yeah. Like, how are you really gauging all of this while still trying to be the number one guy? Yeah. That has to be a lot. Yeah. That has to be a lot of sleepless nights. That has to be a lot of trusted people around you to be like, man, are they handling the money right? Yeah. Is my manager good? Is my co-CEO? Forget the music. Let's stop the music for a second. Mm-hmm. I have artists. I have payroll. I have brands. I have all of these things to be a businessman. Mm-hmm. Like, people look at Jay, like, that's still a business guy outside of all of the music. So let's talk about that. Yeah. And I think those conversations are important because we look at these figures like, man, they just got that bread. But it's like, it's hard to maintain that too. Yeah. $100 million or $1 million, we talk about that all the time. Just really looking at the number of that. $1 million, it's a lot. But when you start to chop things down and be like, oh, I need to put this here, mm-hmm. that business acumen and that leadership and that stewardship that we talked about kicks in, and that really defines the man. Yeah, for sure. Like, what can you, if I give you this right now, like God says, right, what you gonna really do with it? Yeah. Man, you gonna go
squander it, act a fool, go buy the new Range, Bentley, whatever.
You're gonna be at Atlanta Motors, you know what I'm saying? All of that, like, doing so many things.
Yeah, I need to let you feel how it is to not have for a minute, or not do what you want to do when you want to do it for a minute, so that when you are able to, you know how to act. You got some sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? Of course, I got the $100 million. I got this, and I can go buy whatever I want. But do I want to? Do I need to?
Do we need to?
You know what I'm saying? And that's what most people don't understand. So when we talk about stewardship and seed and harvest time, everything that I'm doing in life is a seed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Some falling on stony ground, some falling on good ground, but God get an increase at the end of the day. So who I talk to, who I interact with, who I interview, who I, have shared energy, with, mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I'm going to do me all the time. Yeah. I don't have to pretend to be me and who I am. Right. So God is going to see that and say, okay, I put this person in front of you to be a blessing and a lesson to them, and you passed. So now I'm going to unlock this. Imagine being God sending somebody or a thing in your life, and you so anti whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That you missed the blessing, you missed the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, I messed up. Now you got to start all the way over again. You was close.
It goes back to what I said about the why. It goes back to your intentions.
Yeah.
What really, like, we talk about music so much though, right? Mm-hmm. But then when people get that deal, it's like, you can kind of see like, man, you probably need to redirect this. Yeah. Like, you really love this, or you just hated being broke?
Yeah.
Or the girls, or the money, status, or poverty, whatever it is. I guess people's situations when it comes to that. But mm-hmm. yeah, it goes back into that word stewardship, as being a leader. Yeah. Right. If the leader is like tricking off and doing all this, it's like, I don't know if I want to follow behind this, because it's really not good representation behind where we going. Yeah. This company starts as this company, but I think this might crumble because bro or sis is like out here wilding.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Jets and just running it up, you know what I mean? Just because they have it, or they have this position. Yeah. Being a man just cause, like you said. Mm-hmm. So like I said, I'm excited for the next 10, the next 50, when we hit 100, mm-hmm. all of that, man. So I just want to say I'm very proud of you, because the thought and the conversation that we had once, and you were just like, to be doing it now. Yeah. And you was like, man, I want to get this podcast going, man. D. I'm like, come on. Yeah. I know you're going to do it. But then when you was actually like, first episode, boom, boom, and had everything up, and you sent me the logos and the colors, I'm like, oh, he was dead serious.
Yeah, man.
And I know everything you ever said you was going to do, you did. Yeah. I've seen it since day one, and I'm just like, oh, no, bro, serious. You know what I mean? But to actually see like the conversations and everything just flowing. Yeah. I know it's natural. I know it's natural. This ain't no ploy. This ain't no, oh, he just trying to jump into the podcast game. Like, nah, this is him. Yeah. Like, this is really him naturally before any of it, all of this other stuff. I know everybody else have the platforms too, mm-hmm. but like you said earlier, they already got the name. They already got the capital. This is like really you being in your natural state.
Just like everything I've always done. Yeah, from the ground up. Exactly. No help, no support, no nothing. The real supporters are behind the scenes saying, yeah, do it. What took you so long? You know what I'm saying? But believing in me and not having to fund anything, or, you know, if you need something, let me know. You know, those people are vital to me. But the biggest thing, and again, you know, not to cut you off like that, the biggest thing is for me is knowing that I hold myself accountable to what I say I want.
Yeah.
Because people pray all the time. Pray. God, give me this, send me this. And then God will send it.
You think it's really that simple, though?
That's what?
You remaining exactly, well, you stand in that, like, people pray, but then it's like, now you really got to follow up and do this for real.
Yeah.
Like, you can't pray and then, well, definitely don't pray and then worry. Can't do that. But also, it's like, do the complete opposite. But if you really stay that course, it really works like that?
Yeah, it do.
You believe it?
It do. I believe wholeheartedly. Like, you know, God always answers prayer. It's never a prayer that he don't answer. It may not be the way that you want it.
Might not be your answer at that time.
It's not your answer. You know what I'm saying? It's still an answer. It can be yes, no, or wait. I've learned that. Yes, no, or wait. And as kids, we like kids. We as children, right? You know, and I don't want to go all spiritual, nothing like that, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like our parents, mom, dad, you know, our granny, grandpa, whatever it is, you know, bosses, whatever you had to be under, right? You ask for something. I learned my mama didn't tell me no because I didn't deserve stuff. If I was begging in the store, Mama, give me this, and she said, no, boy, put that back. It wasn't because I didn't deserve it or I didn't need it. It's because either she couldn't afford it or I don't really need it. You know what I'm saying? So we be begging and asking for stuff that a lot of times we don't even need.
Or sometimes get in the habit of receiving so much to when something don't work out, you're like,
yeah, you blown aback. Yeah, that's how kids are.
No.
They you get spoiled. You ain't
no?
never told me no. That's why I said I could help 100. I could help somebody 100 times, and the one time I say no, they wash away the 100. You know what I'm saying? It's like they focus on the one time.
That 101 is like,
yeah, it's like that's the one that now we ain't no longer cool. You don't talk to me no more. You don't know me no more. So I say that to say this. It's like, man, look, at the end of the day, you know, God will always answer prayer. He's faithful and just in that way. You know what I mean? Like, and even the answers that I don't even want or think I should get, you know, we try to question why, like, why not? You know, I've been doing this. I've been faithful. I've been that. And it's like, look, I'm doing it for your own good. You know what I mean? So let that be a message, you know what I'm saying, to everybody, man, that like you can pray without ceasing and then get the answer. And then the person that comes in your life that you didn't think, you know, fit the criteria or the spec might be the one that bless you and be your husband or your wife. You know, that opportunity that you keep passing up, you know what I mean? Because it ain't what you prayed about specifically, but he said, this is necessary and this is what you need in order to take you from being $12, $15, $20 an hour to $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about your perspective and being receptive.
Yeah, you gotta be able to take that and receive that, and humbly too.
Yeah.
You know, that's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like, nah, that ain't what I asked for. Like, well,
who am I though?
Right.
Who am I?
Right.
If I told you, like your mama growing up, man, and I say this, you know, it's humor time, you know what I mean? But imagine this. My mama used to tell me all the time, you know, I'd be like, I'm hungry. You get out of school or whatever, and you come in there and your mama made some stuff. You may not even want that food. You may not got a taste for that. You may like, I don't like that, them beans and them Salisbury steak, whatever it was. But guess what? You either gonna starve, you know what I'm saying? Or you gonna eat what I made.
Right.
This ain't no choice. We ain't got McDonald's food money, you know what I'm saying? So eat what I made or figure it out. And there was days where I went in there and made a peanut butter jelly sandwich, you know what I'm saying? Instead of eating the Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and the green beans, right? But lo and behold, I still provided it.
Yeah.
Don't make an excuse and say that you ain't had no food. Don't make an excuse and say, well, my mama didn't feed me. I ain't had nothing to eat. You had what I provided. Thanks. You just didn't want it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. And I think it goes to being a leader. Before we get to that CEO space, it's like, I don't think anybody, nepotism is real. You know, that's a real thing, but you still kind of got to be qualified for some of this stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? In some of these spaces. Yeah. I believe that. But also, it's preparation. You know what I mean? Real leaders, and I think good leaders that I know personally, that fire that they've been through and their story, that's why I love this platform. Hearing people be like, oh, man, no, I had to go through this, I had to go through that. You know,
crazy stories.
That's really it's I think it's relatable to a lot of people on a small scale, big scale. it's relatable because we all go through things. And that's why I said that question: can you be a leader, or are there leaders without the actual entrepreneur space? And I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. Because, like you said, the behind the scenes people, the people that do things that people don't see or don't hear about, you know, those are still vital
pillars
pieces
in the community.
It's still vital pieces as to everybody don't like to be the face of anything. I personally don't. You personally don't. You know what I mean? But sometimes, hey, like you just said, you might have to do this though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or at least right now, to be able to get to this space of understanding, because when you talk it and when you speak it, it's coming from a real place that I've seen personally. Like, nah, this ain't like he could talk that. Like that's been L's. There's been setbacks. There's been man, I don't know.
And a lot of people, look, to add to that before I lose it, man, believe it or not, man, a lot of people, like when I always used to say, I don't care what people think about me, but I care what people think about me.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? I don't care what people think about me or how they view me, but I care about how people think about me and view me. Why? Because when I leave this earth, I want people to be able to say everything that dude said, he did. When it came to me, he was accountable, he was this, he was that. I don't have nothing bad to say about dude. The haters and the people that do got something bad to say, they're going to have to give a receipt. They're going to have to give receipts for that. You know what I'm saying? That's integrity. That's character. That's what I'm talking about. So you can't be perfect. You can do your best and people still see the bad, right? They can still find negative.
Yeah,
but for me, I pride myself on trying my best intentionally to make sure that how people receive me and how people, what they get from me is 100. You know what I'm saying? So that when it's all said and done and the dust settled, they can say, man, that was a me thing. That ain't had nothing to do with That ain't had nothing to do with T Brown. You know what I'm saying?
They being honest about it.
Yeah, they can be real accountable. You know what I'm saying? They can say, you know what, man, the reason why this didn't happen is because it was me. Or, you know, he told me this, but I didn't. You know, or he did, but I, you know, take self-accountability, bro, because I got to do it. And if I'm not doing something that you think or feel is right or whatever, call me out on that. You know what I'm saying?
That's being a real leader over your life for sure.
Yeah.
The accountability part.
Yeah. So that's why I said for the lack of real, the sake of time and, you know, and everything else, I just really want people to understand, like when they deal with me and on this platform or off this platform, like, again, integrity goes a long way. Like, I really, truly want people to get from me and from this platform authenticity. You know what I mean? Like, he always been that dude, you know what I mean? Without money, you know, when I didn't know, all that, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I can go on and on, man.
Yeah,
I'm feeling good,
but
you know.
I love the questions. I love what I had for you. It's very self-explanatory. Hopefully the people tune in to the next 10 and you have greater conversations for them, more in depth, more transparency. Yeah. Because you're gonna be consistent. You know what I mean? Sure. And
I'm gonna show up.
We're gonna see where this takes. We're gonna see where this goes, man. I see it. Like I said, I see it going to a place where it's highly anticipated. Yeah. And I think when you step in that lane, it's like, okay, we you made the right decision. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not a ploy. It's not a hustle. This is something that's very important, especially coming from you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Hey, man, I'll be tuned in.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying? Putting me on the hot seat, you know what I mean? So that's why I said, at the beginning, at
20, we're going to do this at 20, 25, or whatever we're going to do. Maybe we have a different location or a different little
Yeah, for sure. We're going to do something.
But I'm very excited to see the next phase of it and hearing the conversations and hearing the growth. Because, so it might be a new leader or a new entrepreneur that just say, hey, I'm jumping in, but I'm going to come on here to kind of spark this because this is the platform. Yeah. I don't want to go to, anywhere else that's not fitting and off brand. Yeah. So let's continue to create that, man. So we're gonna have some more questions for you in the next 10 for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Some more deeper questions.
Yeah.
And seeing your growth too. You know what I mean? The things that you've learned in the next 10, in the next 15, 50 or whatever. You personally learning a lot of things from your own self. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because this thing ain't easy. Like I said, y'all, this is a one-man band, and hearing the like I gotta do this, I gotta fix this, I gotta do this, but still being consistent for the purpose of this. Yeah. Very honorable.
Yeah.
Very honorable. So, man, we appreciate you on this end as the consumer. I know your mind goes like in a million places. Like, man, am I doing it right? Is it good? Is it good? It's great.
Yeah.
Like when you showed me the first episode, I'm like, oh, that's crispy. That look amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, what you do? What you use? It's like, it's an iPhone. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's dope, man.
Yeah,
And I encourage anybody that's listening to this and watching it, do it. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Get to it. Like, just turn it on and just do it. Have fun with it. But also, like I said, remember your why. I'm going to keep saying that. The whys is what's going to keep us in everything.
Yeah.
And, yeah, don't be afraid. Like, because it's going to be them times where you're like, is it cool?
Yeah.
But just remind yourself, like, man, this is something I should be doing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. You know, as we close, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I always say, you know, you have to have a why that makes you cry, right? You know, you have to establish a why that makes you cry. Yeah. And that's in any capacity, whether you're an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, you're working a 9 to 5, whatever it is you're doing, like literally, you know what I'm saying? Literally, like you have to establish, you know, the true essence of why you do things. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason or there are reasons, you know, my family, my kids, my, you know, my people around me, you know, I want to be an example, you know, whatever. But like I said, for this, you know, going for the next 10 and the next 10,000, like my whole goal is to just show up. You know, again, I'm going to do a behind the scenes video, you know, where people get to see like my whole setup, you know, where people get to see like, dang, he really wasn't jacking when it came to, you know, talking about the cameras and, you know, the setup in the room and the space. Because on TV, man, it looked big. It looked amazing. It's like, oh my God, the glam and the glitz, you know what I'm saying?
Cool.
You know what I mean? But now to really see like, oh, so I was overthinking it. I was really thinking that I had to have all this big staff and big crew. And obviously I want that. I want the crew. I want the people that buy into the vision and say, man, bro, I got you. I'm a photographer. I'm a videographer. I'm cold with graphics and editing. You know what I'm saying? I'm cold with, you know, doing all that. I would love to be relieved of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love to. I would to just come up here, talk organically. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to spit, you know, and talk, you know, what I'm doing and not have to worry about all that extra stuff. So, you know, even as we speak, when I wrap this interview up, I'm the one got to make this look good for y'all to see what you see on right now. So, man, I appreciate y'all. You know, again, this is episode 10. You know, I'm not counting this as an episode. This is just a really reflection.
Nice recap.
You know, a recap, you know, for people to really see the growth and the transparency, you know, behind the scenes. You know, D Winz came up and, you know, asked the, you know, questions that I wasn't, you know, prepared for or whatever. But it's just one of them things to where, man, this in me and on me. You know what I mean? Like this is me. This is my baby. You know, I'm gonna keep on nurturing, cultivating, taking care of it until it grow up. You know what I mean? So with that, I appreciate all of y'all, man. For those of you who are listening, who are watching, that stumbled across the episode, if you're not, you know, tapped in already, make sure you tap in, man. You know, like, share, subscribe, you know, repost, reshare, you know, put people on, man, because we going somewhere. You know what I mean? So, you know, we going to toast out like we always do. We toasting. Sure. It's crazy. I'm toasting to myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm toasting, you really are. You know, to what we done accomplished, man. 10 episodes in and, you know, and to many, many more. So, you know, the pie in the sky, you know, prosperity, continued prosperity, independence and eminence. And, you know, all that God got in store, man. So here's the Leadership Over Libations, man. We did it.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah. So, man, with that being said, appreciate y'all, man. You know, I'm totally full. I don't have a whole lot of words to say, man, but I'm just grateful to be here right now, and I'm excited for the next, you know, run. You know what I mean? So, you already know the deal, man. Until next time, if you aim at nothing, you bound to hit it, guaranteed. You already know. I'm out.